You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Well, Chief, I'll give you an example. And we have this. This has been circulating. This actually happened last year. Virginia State Trooper Charles Hewitt is being characterized as terrorizing this brother named Derrick Thompson. So what happened was Thompson gets stopped for a minor traffic violation. Now, one of the officers said, hey, I think there are drugs in the car, and they wanted to search. Thompson had his camera rolling. This is what transpired.
You can't do that, sir. This officer is trying to unlock my car. This officer is unlocking my car. They just illegally entered my car. And I'm being forcefully removed.
Take a look at me. I'm a fucking specimen right here, buddy.
Sir,
you have gotten on my last
My hands are up on camera.
All right?
I'm in no threat
You're
to these
going to get your ass whooped in front of fucking Lord and all creation. I'm going to give you one more chance.
I'm being threatened.
You can bring that with you. I'll let you film the whole thing.
I'm being threatened right now.
I'm giving you a chance.
I am not doing anything.
I'm giving you a chance.
I feel unsafe. And I'm in no threat to these three officers. My hands are up. I am doing nothing wrong to provoke anybody or anything. Making sure this is all recorded. I've just been threatened by a lawful officer. I have just been threatened by a law officer as two other officers stand by and say absolutely nothing. Willing to participate. My passenger door was open. My driver door was open. I have it on camera. He rolled my window down to do so.
I'm giving you to the count of 3.
Sir, this is all on camera. I am not resisting. I'm making sure it is being known. I am not resisting.
Okay.
My hands are up. One hand on this camera.
Well, come on,
my seatbelt is being arrested.
As long as your hands are up, that's fine.
I'm not resisting.
As long as your hands are up.
I was unlawfully.
Okay, come on
sir,
out.
please do not touch me, sir.
Keep your phone out.
Sir, please do not touch me.
See, that's where we're coming to a disagreement.
It's not about
I'm giving you to the count of 3. You don't do this.
Sir,
don't do it.
I'm not touching this officer. It's on camera. My hand is by my head.
Step out of the car right now.
I'm being threatened.
Now you're under arrest. Now you're under arrest for disobeying the law of commands of an officer. I'm giving you to the count of 3.
This officer has threatened me, and I'm making it known I am no threat to this officer. I've been threatened.
Watch the show.
My life is in danger. My life is in danger.
How do you like that? How do you like that? Huh? Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands. Yes, you are. I'm not resisting. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Put your hands behind your back. Get off me. My hands are behind my back, sir. My hands are behind my back. I am not resisting. Sir, please get off my neck. I'm not resisting. Get off my neck, sir. You are harming me. You are harming me. You are harming me, sir. You are harming me.
Now, a letter was sent to the Virginia Attorney General Mark Herring about his attorneys call unconstitutional police violence. This is what they said. Go ahead and show the graphic, please, of the letter. It says they described what took place. They said the Office of Troopers conducted an illegal search of the vehicle. And then they said on April 29th, Virginia State Troopers stopped Mr. Thompson's vehicle. The trooper alleged Mr. Thompson's inspection sticker was expired and that she detected an odor of marijuana. She announced her intent to search his vehicle. Mr. Thompson did not consent to the search, and the trooper returned to her patrol vehicle to call for backup. Fearful of police violence and alone in his vehicle, Mr. Thompson placed his cell phone on his dashboard to film the interaction. And then it goes on and on in the letter here. So Chief, there's several things. Scott says you have to comply when a police officer gives you a lawful command. But this is also, to me, one of those examples where if you're a police officer, I mean, that video was about a 2.5-minute video. This is where, I'm sorry, if you're a police officer, you want to avoid having to go there. Now, what I found to be interesting, this officer is in his face. The other 2 officers are quiet, saying nothing. You don't have anyone, to me, de-escalating the situation to try to sit here and work it out. Just your thoughts on just what you saw there.
Well, I don't know what led up to it. And at the point that you showed the video, it doesn't matter what led up to it. There were several violations of what I would consider my policies and some of the policies that we are trying to push through our Congress to ensure that all departments comply with the duty to intervene. When you see another officer doing something wrong, the duty to stop it and intervene. That individual, whether he was about to be arrested for something that occurred prior to these officers getting there, just the behavior, just the actual, manner in which the officer is communicating is so condescending. And it's amazing to me that the driver managed to still keep his cool, even though he may have been in the wrong about something somewhere. He absolutely kept his cool, and it was almost as if the officer was glad to be on the camera. Like, you can't do anything to me. Like, I'm untouchable.
And he then actually said, okay, y'all ready to see a show? Here comes the show. Again, that's one of those things. And look, I think back to the Sandra Bland case. I think back to that. The officer followed her. And she's thinking the cop is trying to come by, so she just gets over. Then he pulls her over for not signaling. And then he's talking to her, and she's smoking. And then he's like, is something wrong with you? Are you agitated? Are you fine? And the way he's talking to her, and then he tells her to put the cigarette out, which is there's no law that says you can't smoke in your own car. And then when she said, why? I'm not breaking any law. Then when he said, ma'am, get out of the car. And she said no. And that was the trigger where he said, you disobeyed an officer's command. Boom, I can now arrest you. And that's the problem when these officers, when they know the law. I hear you, Scott.
But that's not the law, though.
Well, all depends on what state.
Well, that's true, too. Well,
in Texas, in Texas, if an officer tells you, get out of the car, you have to comply. But in the case of Sandra Bland, Chief, he knew what he was doing. He pushed the button and he waited, and that's when he said, that's it, and began to pull on the door to snatch her out of the car.
Well, here's the problem. Because for whatever reason, training police officers around the country, and that's probably too broad of a brush, is that you may have to comply with a police order, but nowhere in a training manual does it says that you can use deadly force or unreasonable force to get compliance from that individual. The video you just showed, the individual was not leaving the car. They were relatively calm, although they were inappropriate, as the chief said, and they were relishing this. But he wasn't moving from the car. They smelled marijuana. They asked him.
They allegedly smelled marijuana.
Allegedly, okay. But listen, you got to go. That's the facts. You dealt. He would not move. He was videotaping. Got no problem with that. But when they asked him to step out of the car, even if they're going to do an illegal search as a survival technique for him as a human being, and legally probably in that state, he's got to comply with that order. But he can fight later.
Right, but here's the issue for me, Chief. The issue is how the police officer conducts him or herself. And I think, again, watching that video, the other two officers, when they saw that their fellow officer, that trooper, was that agitated, somebody should have said, let me step in.
I agree.
Let me talk to him. Hold on 1 second. Chief, go ahead.
How do you get him out of the car?
Chief, go ahead. Chief, go ahead.
I know. Both of you are right, believe it or not. And that's not just to pacify you. Both of you are right, because the officer was 100% wrong in his approach and how he communicated. And one of the trainings that Noble has is that we have a course called The Law in Your Community. And it teaches not just drivers and young people about how to have safe encounters with the police. It also teaches officers of what is appropriate and how to best get compliance without it escalating to another level. And that means when other officers come on the scene, to not be silent, to help get him out the way and somebody else try a different technique, as opposed to, okay, you're not doing what I tell you to do, we're just going to drag you out the car. Sometimes it takes a totally different individual to have that communication with the person, because sometimes people just want respect.
And that's the thing for me, that when we talk about how officers respond to citizens, that is what needs to be dealt with.
But you can't use
no. Listen, but it
by
can't.
The police,
no.
You can't use
but just remove deadly force. The point I'm trying to make here, Chief, is that you have to. Again, I keep using the phrase de-escalate. We showed the video the other day. It happened in Houston, where they were arresting this brother, and they were like, "Get your knee off his neck." It wasn't on his neck; it was on his back. And at one point, one of the officers says, "Do y'all want to help us?" First, they went, "Hell no!" But then one of them went, "Yeah." So they stepped in and they said, "Brother, calm, brother, don't fight, don't resist. Just put your hand behind your back. We're here for you. We're recording. We're watching the whole deal." And guess this is exactly what happened. It all went here. And guess what? The brother calmed down. He was handcuffed, and then he was taken in, but it was de-escalate. The problem I have with the video is the officer got so agitated. It was like, "You want a show? I'm going to give you a show." And that's why he immediately put the arm around his neck to drag him out of the car.
Yeah.
And now you create a problem. Final comment. Go ahead, Chief.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I think it moved away from the issue at hand and turned into this tug of war between the driver and that one particular officer.
Right.
But, and what we do try to ensure that drivers know is that this is the way you properly complain on an officer. I tell people all the time, if you got a problem with one of my officers, I want to know about it. Comply and complain later. Don't try to have that battle in the middle of the street with an officer, because even if he's wrong, sometimes officers' authority and their positions, especially if you got a rogue officer, he can turn that situation into one that could really spin quickly out of control. So the safety of our citizens is really important to us in how we train on our Law in Your Community program.
All right, then, Chief Davis, we surely appreciate it. Thank you so very much, and thank you for all the great work Noble does.
Thank you.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, the folks at Ceek.com have an incredible offer for you folks. And these are these 360-degree 4D headphones that you can use for music, you can Bluetooth, you can for gamers, all that sort of stuff. Mary Spiel's a sister. She's actually the inventor of these headphones. Phenomenal. I love the sound of these. They also have the virtual reality headsets, which allow for you to actually watch VR virtual reality videos, 360-degree videos. You just simply pop your phone right into here. And then, of course, if you you can also go like YouTube has an app as well that has a channel that deals with a lot of those VR ads. And so you can actually do all of that, folks. Check this out and pop it on. And guess what? Check out your virtual reality videos. Go to Ceek.com, 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 Ceek.com. Use this promo code right here, RMVIP2020, RMVIP2020, for a discount on these headphones. And then, of course, when you support them, you support this show, Roland Martin Unfiltered.